Good evening, everybody.
Hi.
Having a good Friday. That's good. That's good. So, just a little housekeeping. If you don't have a lot of noise going on in the background, please, we'd love it if you had your mics open so we could hear you laugh. If you're up to us seeing your smiling faces, we would also enjoy that as well. Now, if we understand you're in your jammies, we don't mind if you're in your jammies. Now, if you're like some people who sleep in the nude, please keep your camera off. We're fine. So we've got a great lineup for you tonight. We are going to be moving the virtual mics to the virtual shows to being the second and fourth Friday of each month, because we are starting up our live show in Asheville on the first Friday of each month. But we are going to continue to do the virtual mics as long as we have interest in them. So if you guys are enjoying yourselves, please spread the word and come on back for future ones as well. So we also have set up, since the comics, this is their livelihood, and it's been a couple rough years with the pandemic, so they have not been able to really perform, get out there and earn some money. So if you have a good time tonight, do not feel any requirement to, but we do have the option for you to donate some money for the comics. We set up on PayPal, it's paypal.me/BD comedy. Or if you prefer Cash App, we have $button down comedy. All the money that comes in will go to the comics. So if you feel the need to do that, we'd love it. If you don't, that's fine too. The show does not cost anything. We don't want to strong arm anybody. But we would ask you that if you do have fun, please follow us at Button Down Comedy on Facebook or Instagram and spread the word. Let other people know about it, because we would love to have more people here, bigger laughs. What can I say? We are narcissists. We need the laughs. We need it. We gotta have it, So I actually got to do an open mic at the local comedy club in Toledo, Ohio. I'm in Ohio this week, and it is the first time that I've actually done a comedy show that I actually got laid. It's a Hawaiian theme, so not as much fun as it was sounding. What can I say? But it was a good time. We had a lot of fun. I was thinking about, we have all these phrases, and you gotta wonder where they come from. Has anybody heard the term drop a dime? Where you basically giving up somebody, you're turning them into the police. If you're not familiar, that actually came from making a phone call on a payphone to call the police, which back then cost a dime.
Oh.
Now, for those of you who are younger and don't understand, a payphone is a phone that was out in public that anybody could use, that had a cord on the handle connected to the numbers. I know you don't find those very often anymore, but now it's like, hey, can I borrow your cell phone? But the terms that needs to be updated. Can I drop a quarter and a dime on somebody? I think it's 35 cents now, or 50 cents, two quarters. Drop a 50 cent on you. But the one that really gets me is, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Where's this horse that's been riding around dropping off gifts? And why would he store them in his mouth? Saddlebags, come on, don't you know? I've never seen this horse. I'm a big science fiction fan, and I've noticed that a lot of the science fiction shows, they love doing zero gravity sex. And while this sounds good, ladies, men need a little traction. Okay? We need something to push off of. And problem with zero gravity sex is, if you push off, all of a sudden you bounce around and it becomes, sex in a bouncy house. It's no fun. That's just no fun. And have you ever looked at the sheets? Do you really want that shit floating around? And can you imagine cleanup? It's like, oh, there's some over there. Some there. Oh, some there. That would not be fun. Yeah, and I was thinking that there's nature photography, there's fashion photography, there's sports photography. They're pretty self-explanatory. We know what they're taking pictures of. What are amateur photographers taking pictures of? Is that where that porn category comes into play? Friend of mine said I'm not into holidays, and I said, that's not true. Groundhog Day that's my jam. I said, Groundhog Day. I said, yeah. I mean, nothing better than standing around the groundhog tree singing groundhog carols. Hang groundhog balls on the tree. Finding that cute girl, catching her underneath the groundhog toe and getting a kiss. I'm tired of politics. I'm just tired of it. I mean, left wing, right wing, doesn't matter. I think I've decided I'm okay with big brother government, because here's the thing: it's either going to be right wing or left wing or in the middle. I have a 66% chance of being okay. I'll take those odds, because right now I don't get any of it. I mean, just the other day, there's a big hoopla, this big anti-Christianity about these people singing, Christian songs on the plane. Now, here's the thing. I don't care that they were singing Christian songs. I care that they were singing Christian songs in a closed plane. I mean, I take my headphones so that I can listen to music without bothering everybody else. They have a term for loud music in a confined space. The CIA calls it torture. Everything turns into religion and politics. Like, no, just common courtesy, please, come on. I was talking to some friends of mine in the disabled community, and they said that the term handicap is not really appropriate anymore. They don't like that term. So where do they park? And can they use that special entrance now? Because it's called the handicapped entrance. But I did beat the shit out of some guy at the racetrack the other day. He was handicapping horses. I will not sit down for cruelty to animals. That's just wrong. I've been looking at what's going on in Ukraine, and I mean, it is just awful what's been happening to these people. But the strategies, and if you look at the military side of it, it's kind of shades of Roadrunner and Bugs Bunny. I mean, you have tanks being taken away by farmers with their plows. You've got, towns that have been taken over by the soldiers, and the citizens bring food to the soldiers, and the soldiers eat it and die because it's laced with poison. Say, duh. No, not duh. And then, of course, there's Chernobyl. And for me, I see the Ukrainian people saying, hey, we're not letting you take Chernobyl. You cannot have a line in the sand. We're not getting Chernobyl. We're not. No, you know what? Fine. Take Chernobyl, dig some trenches, have at it. I just see Putin with the hunter's hat on and the shotgun, and I keep hearing duck season, rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season. It doesn't make sense. Just does not. And anybody into Disney? Round of applause. You like Disney? Yeah. I don't get Disney. I don't. I mean, they give us cookies shaped like Goofy. They give us candies shaped like Daisy Duck. They give us waffles shaped like Mickey. But then they kick me out when I'm eating Minnie? Okay, maybe it was the rotisserie and the fava beans. I don't know. Maybe it was too far. I was reading the sex doll industry was having a real tough time breaking into the women's market. until they added compassionate conversation to the dolls. Then sales went through the roof. And that also increased the profit on the male side because they added the mute option. My girlfriend told me it was okay to get a sex doll as long as it looks like her. Now, these things are expensive, so I'm not sure I can handle, every week splurging on a new hairstyle, nails. It's just too much. It's just too much. And then that mute option is expensive. But let's be real. I'm a geek. Okay. It's never coming out of the box. Do you know how much it devalues if it comes out of the box? That won't happen. All right. Well, that's my time. Let's move on to our first medium. We've been doing virtual comedy now for about 2 years. And this is her first, I think this is her first virtual at all, but I know it's the first one for us. I met her in Greenville, South Carolina. She's an up-and-coming comic. She has iconic pink hair. She started in the mountains of Western North Carolina, is now out of Greenville. Please, let's give a warm welcome to, bring her up here. Cassandra.
Hi there. All right, so I'm very excited to be here. This is awesome. This is my first virtual show that I've ever done. So I started this new job a little while ago, and I thought, you know what, I'm probably gonna have to clean up my act. And I don't want to do that. Because clean comedy is as useless as a PG-13 horror movie, because there's no tits and ass. And being a woman in comedy is really tough sometimes, because I feel like I'm just a pair of tits telling jokes. And I just got to the point where I was like, fine, go ahead and look. Nobody's made eye contact with me since I was 13 years old. In fact, sometimes I dress like super provocative so that people will sexually objectify me. I would really hate for someone to notice my personality. My ex-husband, he liked my tits a lot more than my personality, that's for sure. Because early on in our marriage, he suggested that we have an open relationship, which I don't know if you're familiar with how the dynamics of that work, but it basically meant that he wasn't cheating because he told me he was fucking other women. But I should have been used to it. Because my dad didn't want me either. But my mom has been super supportive of my divorce. She's actually, she's been through it 4 times herself already. So I'm just really, really grateful to have an expert on board for the entire process. And she got married again last year, and it was to a guy that she met on Tinder, and I was hesitant at first, but then I was like, I really hope this works out for her. Like I was really hopeful. And he seems like a really nice guy. I've met him a couple times, but he forgot to delete his Tinder profile. So I think at this point you might call that irreconcilable differences. Divorce has been tough. Like, it's been tough. I tried to put up a curtain rod here in my home office a couple of days ago, and that was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. I was like, maybe I should just give up feminism. Like, just give it up, because men are better at drilling things anyway. And then eventually I got like super hysterical and emotional, as we women do. And I just hammered the screws like right into the wall, just hammered them right in. And I know that's not how you're supposed to do it. Like, I know that's not how you're supposed to do it. But I figured that men are pretty good at beating the shit out of something until it does what they want it to. So that approach couldn't hurt either. That's a domestic violence joke. So Jumping back into the dating pool was really tough too. I got stood up, I got ghosted, I got assaulted again, and you know what they say, the third time's the charm, third time's the charm. And I thought, after that, I was like, maybe dick is the problem. Like maybe dick is the problem. So I swore off men for a little while. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of critical of men, a little bit critical. And I've never been able to figure out why they treat women the way that they do, And then I started dating women and wow, do I get it? Like, do I get it? Like I took this girl out for sushi, right? Because it was her favorite. And she was sitting there looking so beautiful and so perfect. And she was telling me about like the dorm that she was moving into and her class schedule. And I'm trying my damnedest to maintain eye contact, right? Because I want to be respectful. But the problem is I get clit brain. Okay, and I can only think about one thing, right? I can only think about one thing. Titties. I'm telling you, my dudes, I feel you on this. Like, I feel you on this. You're sitting there and you're trying to have a halfway decent conversation, and you're like, wow, her eyes are so beautiful. I could just get lost in her titties. And she's so talented. She's so talented. I know she's going to get the lead role in The Sound of Music. I can't wait to go and watch her titties. And to make matters worse, my stamina is absolute shit. Like I'm like a 30-second girl tops, right? So anytime that we go out and I knew things were going to get physical, I'd have to give myself a pep talk, like coach in the locker room, I'd have to be like, okay, Cassandra, okay, look, no matter what happens out there, no matter what happens, don't come, right? Don't come, right? Hold her hand. Think about holding her hand. Don't think about coming, right? Like she leans in, she makes a move. You just think about that sourdough recipe you kept fucking up in the middle of quarantine, right? Maybe think about quarantine in general. When you were sad, and lonely, and depressed, and you weren't going out with hot girls who were theater majors and titties. All right, thank you guys. Thank you so much. This has been great. I am Cassandra Jane.
Hey, let's keep it going for Cassandra. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear words you said. I was distracted, With the computer. It was a computer.
Of course.
Our next comedian has actually done our shows a few times. He is also from Greenville. He describes himself as a mix with punk and hardcore music with an extreme cat dad. He decided to do stand-up on a bet and has not quit yet. Please, let's give a round of applause for Adam Schulte.
There we go. I say, how do I unmute myself? I don't understand. Here's the thing, man. I don't know how old everyone else is, but I turned 43 in December, and I didn't have to use that 35 birthday bullet, so I obviously did something right. That's not a joke about the birthday. I still have the birthday bullet. The idea was if I wasn't doing anything good with my life by the time I had 35, because I was living in the middle of fucking nowhere, North Carolina, Rutherford, that I would just like, all right, it's 36 birthdays about to eclipse. Let's just leave the planet. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, it might be selfish. Dad might have some emotional damage. And he might have to pay a cleaner. But I'm working at GameStop part-time and figuring out new ways to like tie a belt around my neck to jerk off and come because I have nothing to do in Rutherford County, North Carolina. I don't want to date women where I can guess how many teeth are in their mouth when they're talking to me. Like that's not the kind of world that I want, right? It's not fun, dude. And like yes, my wife who is live right now, who's making me dinner like she's supposed to because she's property. You are the kid. Why? No, take the fucking shoes off. It's hotter that way. It's the only way I can get hard. Feet. Fucking love feet. So I live in Greenville now. I'm originally Morgantown, West Virginia. Spent like way too long in Rutherford County, North Carolina. Somehow didn't get a meth addiction. Have like most of my teeth. This because I do combat sports. All right. My midlife crisis that I'm facing is comic books, records, 6 cats, a stable emotional relationship, and stand-up comedy and Muay Thai. Like I'm not look, I've watched a lot of porn in my life, so I know that dating someone significantly younger than me is already kind of creepy. But when you look like this, when this is your everyday, like you look like you're making porn in like what could be a meth shack or a moonshine shack. Like you have options because in 2022, you got to diversify. You got to figure out a way to get on that daily grind and make that money so you can buy drugs and maybe get the gun off layaway that you've had at Academy for a while. By the way, here's a pro tip. If you do decide to buy a gun off layaway, never buy the box of rounds and take one out and casually slide the other one back saying, hey, I'm gonna test this out in the bathroom and walk away quickly. They do not like that. I've got it's really disgusting to kind of put. When I had to live in Rutherford County for so long, like I had to find ways to amuse myself. And as George mentioned, I've been into punk and hardcore since I was like 15, 16 years old. So I've got some time in. It's not a phase. It's not a phase, guidance counselors. I'm still in, and I'm covered in a whole bunch of tattoos that really are emotional mistakes is really what they represent now. But I've always enjoyed it. It's been a big part of my life. I've actually met my best friend by going to hardcore shows. I met him in summer of 2000 before we went to Syracuse Hellfest. And after we became friends, we would just do dumb things together. Jackass was big. We had video cameras, and we really didn't have a lot of concern for things like law or stop signs or, not causing problems. So one of the things that we did, I had my first stepmom, who I hope is dead. We took one of her credit cards that was clearly expired. And Columbine had happened like maybe 9 months beforehand. And I was at home for break. So we went to Walmart. We went to a show in Winston-Salem, had a good time. This is when the Walmart in Rutherford County, North Carolina, was a 24/7 Walmart supercenter. It was the biggest one in the United States at the time. They did not have a lot of smart people working, which was good for us, but they also had a police station in the middle of the Walmart. Blew my mind that are you going to be mad that someone's finally going to steal like some hygiene products? Because no one's really, Rutherford County is a very dirty place. I'm not pro-terrorism, but like in this case, like you can take it off the map. No one's that hit Rutherford County, then Florida. Like no one's going to miss really either of them, if we're going to be perfectly honest. So the first time I got arrested at the Walmart Supercenter in Rutherford County, North Carolina, I haven't told this story in a long time, so this is a fun time for me to do it. Let me light my cigarette so I can take a few more minutes off my life. Can't do this indoors anymore. My best friend and I decided to do one of the smartest things that we thought at the time was a smart thing. We dressed in all black. We had trench coats, black trench coats. I went to military school, and those were a standard issue when I was in military school. There's just a normal thing to have black trench coats. You'd have your little epaulets and your rank and and what company you're in. Took all that off. We decided to go to the first aid places so you can get like your Bactine and you get your gauze and you get your your bandage wraps. We put as much of it in the cart as we possibly could. And then we went to the gardening section and just started buying as much, or not buying, but putting in as much potting soil as humanly possible that you could put into a shopping cart. Then we went and got a chainsaw. And he's like, which oil do we need? Will this chainsaw cut through human bone? And these are the conversations we're having just loud enough so the poor Walmart workers have to deal with our bullshit. And then we get some ski masks. And then finally we get the industrial size garbage can liners. We take it all up to the register, and we start looking at each other purposefully, nervously, like, hope they don't find out. Oh my God, I hope they don't find out. We're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to fucking do it. Making plans, for the weekend. And the lady said, okay, how are you going to pay? So I pulled out my stepmom's credit card, which I stole, which was expired and didn't work. So I said, here, take this. This is money. It will pay. She takes the card, realizes that my first name is not her first name at all. And she goes, so what are you guys going to do this week? And I said, it's none of your business. We're cleansing for Jesus if we want to. That was the phrase that made her press the little button in the register, which made the cops come out. And we were promptly arrested. And I was no longer allowed to go back there for like 9 months. And then I had to do some court stuff and some legal paperwork. But we're just kids having fun. We're just trying to find a way to make it through Rutherford County without getting a 16-year-old knocked up or getting a meth addiction. So that's why I'm happy that I now live in Greenville, South Carolina. I've had more opportunity here, not only just from doing stand-up comedy, but for my life. I've become, I hope, a better person. I'm not pulling weird dickhead pranks like I used to. I kind of think in a few ways I've become a bit of a superhero. Like, not like a good one, but like I might get like a webtoon maybe once every quarter, especially when quarantine started. So for those of you that didn't live in South Carolina, once quarantine hit, this entire area, they love Trump and racism just for like freedom. I need to be around everybody. Fucking freedom, America, freedom. Hell yeah. That's all that we had. Weehaw, freedom, God, Clemson and guns. Fuck yeah. That's all that was the mentality. It's still the mentality where I live. And everybody, and I'm outside to show you now, you may not be able to see it because it is dark out, but if you look out here, if you can kind of see, that is a baseball field, right? And they have multiple baseball fields. There's a couple basketball courts. There's a tank. It's decommissioned. I've tried to get in more than once. Thanks, Adam. I know. My wife has
been there for years.
My wife is helping me out because I don't remember my own material, and she loves me and likes me, so she's going to help out a little bit tonight.
That tank was there when I was a kid.
So it's an old tank, like both of us. See, it's okay. We're old as fuck. So you're old as fuck. You. So all the people in quarantine, they're like, stay away from me, everybody. Don't be near anybody. Don't touch anything. 6 feet. Every single person that you could possibly think of that had some sort of weird activity outdoors, they were doing. We had the Pokemon Go kids. They were like having trouble breathing while trying to catch Pokemon. You had people making up sports in there. They had dogs. We had the drone enthusiasts. And I thought to myself, this is how The Walking Dead starts. This virus is going to mutate. Something bad is going to come of this. I need to save my area. I need to be a hero. Like my father always said, Adam, you're going to be a hero one day. Be that hero. So in my well-intentioned mind, I decided to get my door gun. I'll talk about guns in a minute. I decided to get my door gun. So I got my door gun and I walked to the edge of my property, and I wasn't waving it around aggressively. Like I wasn't aiming at anyone particularly, because that's not cool. You don't want it. That's a bad vibe to give off. So I just did the smart thing. I just pointed at the ground and put 2 rounds in, and people scattered. Now there were cops coming to the area. But I was like, no, guys, I got this. This area clear. COVID, I'm a hero. Where's my fucking parade? I need my parade. I'm a hero. I am Moon Knight. I don't think that would have gone too well. I may not be here if that was the mentality that I carried out for the entire time. I am wearing camo. I am from West Virginia, although I do have all my teeth, and my family tree does fork many times. Thank you. I'm Jewish, but I love guns. I do. I genuinely love guns. I want to blame Call of Duty for that. And my father, who was a Vietnam vet, who taught me how to use all sorts of guns. And like, before I go more into my love of guns, most kids with their parents, they'll have a catch, they'll teach them how to ride a bike. My father said, Adam, I need to teach you survival skills. Like, oh, like foraging, like which mushrooms? He goes, no, this is how you take out sentries. What you got to do is you got to get up behind them. You take the knife and you jam it right here in the clavicle artery. You twist it and you cover their mouth and slowly bring them to the ground. And then you move on to the next one and then on to the next one. And tomorrow we're going to teach you how to make a tiger trap. I was like, I'm 6 and not emotionally prepared for this, but I guess it'll be useful one day. Maybe it'll help me. Maybe it'll be okay. But I did carry my love of guns from my father who raised me. And I'm not one of those kind of people that like is going to tell you how to feel about guns. I'm not going to say, I don't like guns. I'm not going to convince you. I'm not going to convince you otherwise. That's a dick move. Like I said, I've moved to a better place. I'm trying to be a better person. So I'm not going to change anyone's mind. That's not my point. I do love them. Like, I don't love them where like I have to fire off 7 or 8 rounds into the air and touch the hot underbarrel to the tip of my erect cock with the help of some hemp spills. But I do, in fact, like guns. Now, if you are one of those people that needs the hot barrel on your dick to come, I think we may not be able to be friends. However, when the apocalypse happens, I'm going to rob the shit out of you because you'll be a belt around your neck and a hot tip of a gun underneath your dick. And that way, like, that's embarrassing. So, like, oh, what do I do? Like, oh, you just come and I'll take your guns. It'll be fine. I don't know. Getting old is weird. It genuinely is. And I'm at that point where, what have I done enough in my life? Have I done enough good things in my life? I know I've done terrible, terrible things. So when I'm looking back on my life, like what's something good that you have done that you can tell people about? What's something good that you can pass on to the next generation of human beings? And the thing that I have done is I have not gotten anyone pregnant at all. That's the thing. Don't say yet, woman. Don't say yet. You can't get a mouth pregnant. We've tried. You cannot get pregnant. And here's the thing, man. Like, if we wanted kids, I don't know how good of a father I would be. I don't. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, just based on the way I've lived my life, like, I'd be a court-appointed weekend dad. Like, that's about it. And then it'd be sketchy. Like, I'd miss holidays and birthdays. And I'm sure if I did have kids, right, if that ever happened, I know that sooner or later, I'd have to have that awkward conversation where I have to go door to door and explain my teardrop tattoo. Be like, sorry, I fucked up. I don't want to have to do that. That's a big worry to me. So we have cats. That's the big thing. We have 6 adorable cats, and I love them so much. They're
all special.
They're all special. And here's the best thing about cats, right? Like, unlike a kid, like if a cat loses all its cuteness power, I can just take that cat and just throw it in the trash. Can't do that with. You got to get law enforcement involved. My wife giving me both fingers for talking about throwing one of our cats in the trash. We're gonna bury them proper Jewish burial.
You can't just throw them on the mountain. This isn't China.
That's right. It's not America. This is America where we're fucking free. To an extent. Until Twitter says we're not. We're free. So I've enjoyed my time with you guys tonight. This has been a blast. I haven't been able to do one of these in a while. Last time I was extremely fucked up mentally and emotionally, and like 2/3 of a bottle of whiskey in, and I really botched it. So I appreciate George letting me come back and do this. I hope all of you guys enjoyed what I've had to say. Follow George on Button Down Comedy. If you want to see more from both myself and Cassandra, follow Stonegrown Comedy. And if you ever miss one of George's postings and you follow us, you'll see the show and vice versa. My name is Adam Schulte. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina, by way of Morgantown, West Virginia. Thank you all so much for your time. Have an awesome weekend.
Let's keep going for Adam. Now, Adam, you do understand that we're not free.
I know.
Cats were once revered as gods by the Egyptians. And they have not forgotten that. So we are definitely not free.
Listen, I have 6 of them. The Egyptian gods know, and I am Khonshu's avatar. I am Moon Knight.
Yes, cats. Wonderful creatures till you fall asleep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Our headline tonight is a gentleman I met doing Zoom comedy. So it's been about 2 years I've known him. He was originally in Chicago. He is now based in Los Angeles. His sharp wit and absurdist energy landed him on several prestigious stages, including Caroline's on Broadway, Zany's Comedy Club, San Francisco Sketch Fest, and the NBC Breakout Festival. Please give it up for Prateek Srivastava.
Hello, everybody. Yeah. Hey. Give it up for all the performers you've seen tonight. Give it up for Geo. Also, give it up for not reading my entire bio. I was like, for a second there, I was like, are you going to read the whole? It's a long thing, which, I mean, I am an egomaniac. We all are. That's why we do this. I would love to hear my bio, but I was like, whoa, am I getting my whole bio right now? So, yeah, you got the liner notes in. That's what's important. But yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to see Zoom comedy is still alive and well, everybody. Yeah, we're doing it. Hells yeah. And I'm sure this is being streamed on Facebook. This is being streamed on Google Glass. It's going to be streamed on Vape Pen too. Like, this is great. Like, we're doing it, guys. We're doing live art right now. And I think it's great. A lot of comics like to shit on Zoom comedy. I'm like, no. I've dealt with the weird, George Geo, we know, I had to do a Zoom show where I heard like vacuuming noises in the background. Turns out somebody was actually vacuuming and needed background noise, and my comedy was the background noise. And I'm like, hooray, this is great. Because it's either this or the Joe Rogan podcast. And you know what? I'm glad to compete with background noise. I'm totally fine with that. You want to put me in a wind tunnel? Great. I love it. So yeah, happy to be here. I don't know about you guys. Like, clap it up if you've stepped out. Like, how many of you still live in Zoom, or are you guys out and about? Are we out and about now? Are we going out and doing things? Yeah, we're doing things again. It's good. It's good to get out a little bit, because there was like a period there. Like, I think when I met you, George, like that like 15, 16 month, like right before, I didn't do anything until I got vaccinated. So like that 15, 16 month period, like all I did was Zoom. Like, work was on Zoom, stand-up was on Zoom, weddings on Zoom, birthdays on Zoom, funerals on Zoom, everything on Zoom, you guys, everything, every fucking thing on Zoom. And the thing is, my family, they're very cheap is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to think of a nice way to say this. I have very cheap family members. So they tried to do a funeral on Zoom, but they did not pay for the premium version of Zoom. So they tried to do a funeral on the demo free version of Zoom, which I know people have done shows on the free demo version of Zoom, and you can't do it. Zoom will tell you when they're about to end. If you try to do something on the free Zoom, there'll be a countdown clock in the middle of your screen. You all know that countdown clock, right? Where it's just like, free Zoom will end in 5, 4, 3. Now imagine a funeral. Now imagine a Hindu priest trying to say a prayer, and all of a sudden just 5, 4, 3. It's like the screen cut to black, and I'm just sitting here going, are we switching to coffin cam now? Like, what the fuck is going on? Why is it black right now? What's going on? It would not be coffin cam because Hindu funerals, so it's a cremation cam. Yeah, we know about Hinduism, right? Everybody here took a world history class. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. By the way, side note, if you'd like to learn more about Hinduism, please visit your local library or listen to a Gwen Stefani song in 1998. Those are the 2 ways to learn about one of the oldest religions in the world. Who needs the Hindu Vedic texts when you got Gwen Stefani putting a dot on her head after dating the bassist from No Doubt? That's Hinduism in a nutshell. Am I right? The iPad knows what I'm talking about. And shout out to that I've seen some great names in a Zoom room, but Gian's iPad 2 is that by far. Is it GN iPad 2 Electric Boogaloo? Like, is this a sequel to iPad 1? iPad 1 did really well overseas, so we need iPad 2 Electric Boogaloo. We know what's going on. Yeah, no, good to be here. Yeah, like George said, is it George or Geo? I feel like I've called you. I've heard both names.
Well, it's actually both. I go by Geo, but my legal name is George.
Your legal name is George. Yeah. Okay. So I will call you what the courts call you. No, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, George. Whatever you want me to call you, just tell me. But yeah, Geo. I feel like I've heard. I remember we used to do the fun simulation mic, and they would just say Geo. So I'm like, oh, you're like a rock, right? Like Geo, yeah, or the car, right? Yeah. But yeah, George, Geo, it's cool. It's all mixed into one. But yeah, it just doing these Zoom shows, doing stuff. It's been like the court's the defendant. Yes, the defendant. Oh wow, court is wild. I actually, yeah, I could say this story real quick. I had a situation where this is before the pandemic, pre-pandemic, we'll call it BC, before before COVID on Christ. You got BCC, blind carbon copy. Before COVID, what happened was I was doing a show. Comedy will do that. You'll do shows sometimes. And I decided to not drive because I'm like, you know what? I've had a few. I should not drive. So I will take the metro train back to my abode. That's smart, right? Responsible. You don't want to get into an accident or anything. I got on the metro train, and for the first time riding the metro train in 15 years, guys, 15 years, I miss my metro stop. I oversleep. I wake up at 2 a.m. now. This is not like a regular transit train. Like they run out. Like it stops running at a certain time. At the end of the line, I get kicked off the train by the conductor. Like you think about like Shining Time Station, like friendly conductors. The media has portrayed conductors very positively, whether it's George Carlin or Ringo Starr or CGI Tom Hanks in the Polar Express. Very friendly men that will take care of you. This conductor did not take care of me. He basically looked like an out of work UFC fighter in a tiny little hat. It was kind of comical actually. But yeah, he just literally like chucked me off he grabbed me and pulled me in close to him. Like I felt like one of Jeff Dunn's puppets, you guys. Like it was wild, you guys. Yeah. So he pulled me in, threw me off the train. I should mention it's January 2019 in Chicago, Illinois. Very cold, very, very, very freezing. Glasses fogged up. Just a lot of foggy glasses. I'm stumbling around. I find a little waiting area. I go into the waiting area. And I realized my phone, this very phone, by the way, I didn't update my phone. I don't update my phone at all. So this very phone is getting a little low on battery. It's at a mere 5%. I have my charger. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to charge my phone. But I find a plug and like a port outlet, and it's not charging. It's not going in. It's not the electricity is dead. So I use my critical thinking skills, and I see there's a vending machine that is on and working, and there's an outlet for the vending machine. So I unplug the vending machine cord, plug in my phone, and I do this by kneeling down. I don't have great knees, you guys. My knees are very weak and unstable, like the Middle East, basically. I have the Gaza Strip of knees, you guys. Very, very unstable, you guys. So I have to support myself with my foggy glasses. So I lean on the wall to try and support myself and bring myself up. And what happens to be on the wall that I don't realize is a loose, uncased fire alarm. Like you've seen those fire alarms that have like the plastic wrap around them. This is a raw dog fire alarm exposed. And as I'm supporting myself with the wall, I accidentally, because of my foggy glasses, trip the fire alarm. The alarm goes off. Police and fire department show up. The whole neighborhood shows up to get me. And ultimately, there is a warrant filed for my arrest for falsely calling 911. This is all real, by the way. There are real court documents. You can look this up. This actually happened. It's wild. And so I have to go to court over this. And the craziest thing is, while in court, the judge asks me, "So what do you do for a living, son?" I didn't have this beard, by the way, at the time, too. So I look without this beard, I look like a very young child. So it's like no one's calling me son now. Now I don't even get sir now. I just get hey you or get away from my child. Like I don't get a son now. But back in the day, George, I got a son. So this judge is trying to connect with me. He goes, "So what do you do now, son?" And I tell him I don't lie about being a comedian. I say, "Yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian. I tell jokes." And he goes, I enjoy jokes. Would it bother you to tell a joke now in the middle of the court? And this whole process was very upsetting to me going to court over this, but I am very happy to say that in a court of law, this is actually like a stenographer wrote this out. There's actually federal documents that say People versus Prateek Srivastava. And in these documents, I got to say in an actual courtroom, if it pleases the court, I will tell a joke. And I think that's the greatest thing ever. You're not saying that, and that's not happening in A Few Good Men. Okay, that's not happening in Roe versus Wade. I'm not saying these aren't great cases, but no one in Roe versus Wade got to say a fucking joke. And now I'm gonna tell you the joke that I said in that courtroom. This is the joke. This is the joke. So buckle in, everybody. This is the joke. I was reading an article about. This is the joke, by the way. So this is joke performance world. So I was reading, like how I broke that down, by the way, like, I'm like, it's not just story time, it's joke time. Like it's all performance. It's the nature of performance, you guys. It's wild. So I'm in the joke world, and I say, I was reading an article in People magazine, and the article was titled Sexiest Bad Boy Actors of All Time. And they ranked Sean Penn the sexiest bad boy actors of all time. And I was telling People magazine, like, if you scoured the depths of time, Sean Penn is not the sexiest bad boy actor of all time. The sexiest bad boy actor of all time was John Wilkes Booth. Now you might be saying, what are you talking about? John Wilkes Booth, what? Listen, Sean Penn might be liberal, but do you know how much John Wilkes Booth hates Republicans? Like, he hates Republicans so much, especially one in particular. And they love that joke down by the Lincoln Memorial. That joke assassinated down by the Lincoln Memorial, everybody, okay? That joke does great in theaters, by the way. It is mind-blowing how well it does in the theater. And everybody, that was the joke I told in a court of law. And that joke lowered my offense, because the standard offense for pulling a fire alarm in the state of Illinois is a felony charge up to 3 years in prison and $20,000 in fines.
Oh.
And that joke lowered all of that charge down to a disorderly conduct misdemeanor. So some people have killer comedy jokes. Some people have jokes that make people laugh. I have jokes that lower legal fees. So that's how powerful my comedy is, everybody. Hey.
Hey, all right.
Which is that's a good that's pretty good. I should put that in my intro next time. Like, your next comedian use jokes to lower a court fee, you know.
Stay out of jail.
They actually at one point were going to have me in front of not a military tribunal, but some sort of community tribunal, because they wanted to actually sentence me properly, because they felt that that's a little extreme for a first-time offender. By the way, is 3 years in prison for tripping a fire alarm. That's a little extreme. And I'm not naive enough to not realize that, there's clearly racial stuff involved in this. I'm well aware that is a thing. All right. And I know might be some people out there like, no, don't just play the race card. All right. You're just playing the race card. Oh, no, I don't play the race card. The race card happens to me. All right. I don't play it. It just happens. It's my fucking life. Right. I was a high school freshman in September of 2001. Okay. Like, high school is supposed to be awkward enough, and then throw in that whole thing happening. And I didn't even have a beard back then. Like, if I had this fucking like United Nations Santa Claus beard back then, you'd fucking believe the shit that I would deal with. But no, I have it now. And now we're in this weird, we're like I still have people tell me, you look like a terrorist. Oh, you look like Taliban. And I look at them and I say, listen, the Taliban may have beards, but their beards compared to my beautiful beard fucking suck. All right. So you do not compare me to where the Taliban gets their beards from? Build a beard workshop. Okay. Like, it's fucking right. I'm genetically blessed. All right. You've heard the phrase, George, big dick energy. I have big beard energy. Okay. I can't even fit my beard on the fucking Zoom screen right now. And I saw that, by the way. I saw that, Adam. You have to do a little, I notice when I do my beard jokes, it's always men in the audience that are just like, they're checking their beard like, man, I wish I could. It'll happen. All right. I'm 35 going on 36. I didn't have a beard until I was 30, what was I when the pandemic? I was 33. I was Jesus' age. Yeah, I was Jesus' age. So literally, I went 33 years not thinking I could have even like any beard. So you too, it could happen to you too. You just gotta believe. You just gotta make a wish on the Propecia fair, not Propecia. That's a different not Propecia. No, what was it? Just for men, or no? Is Propecia for hair growth, or am I getting it wrong? Does anyone know out there?
No.
Let's workshop this. Is Propecia is the alopecia is the thing that the whole violent slap thing that was that thing. But Propecia, by the way, I love my hand gestures. I'm guiding 19 planes right now with all these hand gestures. But no, Propecia is the thing that they advertise at night during like a UFC like late night fight or whatever. Like, hey guys, are you over 40 and you don't think you're a fucking man anymore? Try eugenics and all that shit. And then it's like some ad for like, hey, do you want to look like racially accurate Jesus Christ? Get yourself some Propecia. Yeah. So yeah, there's drugs for all this stuff, but you don't need it. All you need is a little bit of faith and a global pandemic. I truly believe I grew this hair out because of COVID. So what I'm saying is, if you want a beard like mine, bite a bat. Like just do Ozzy Osbourne a bat, and you can grow a beard like mine. And if PETA's watching, it was not it was faux bat. It was one of those like rubber hot doggy things, like the hot dog chew toy that sometimes dogs have, like, you know, that specific one, you know what I'm talking about, like an Oscar Mayer chew toy for dogs. It was that, but with a bat costume on, with a Batman costume on it. The rubber chew toy was the Bruce Wayne, and the bat costume was the thing above it. And that's what you eat, and you can grow a beard, and that's how it works. People love to touch my beard, by the way, and it's fucking great. They want to climb the tree to the warp zone level 8, and I say, sure, you can touch my beard. I don't give a fuck. It's soft. That's what it's there for. It's like shag carpeting. It's from a different time. It's fucking wonderful. I am donating this to Locks of Love at some point, everybody. You rest assured. Because this beard is too good to be thrown into a Sports Clips garbage can. Okay, like, no, like, I'm not just gonna fucking cut it off and leave it in Sports Clips. Get the fuck out of here. No, it's going to Locks of Love. It's literally like a Russian nest egg doll. Like you can just take it off into multiple pieces. Okay, we're hosting Button Down Comedy, the next show, inside of my beard. That's how big it is. Right? Like, a lot fucking happening. All right. I do think it's important to mention to everybody that it is good to be out and about now. It's good to be socializing with you, whether you're out and about or you're in your house, or you're playing it safe. Because listen, things are kind of crazy right now. The numbers are going up again. There's a world war that's breaking out. There's a movie about Sonic the Hedgehog. Like that. It's a crazy time to be alive right now. It's fucking wild. Like if you told me and like when I was 8 years old, like, hey, Sonic the Hedgehog is gonna be like relevant like 30 years later, I'm like, wow, who would have thought that? Wow. I actually auditioned to voice Sonic the Hedgehog, and they thought my voice sounded a little too much like Gilbert Gottfried, R.I.P. So they were just like, no, we want a Sonic the Hedgehog that does not talk like that does not talk with my guttural voice. No, they need a more sweet, tuned, hip Sonic the Hedgehog. But no, it's a great movie. You guys should check it out. I'm not bitter towards Hollywood. In fact, quite the opposite, George. It's quite the opposite. I embrace Hollywood. I embrace the idea of acting. I think all comedians should try to, engage in different art forms. It's not just about telling jokes in a shitty dive bar for, a bunch of dudes that look like they belonged in an episode of Sons of Anarchy, and you're performing at your 40th VFW hall, and you're getting paid in the chicken tenders that they throw at you while you tell your 15 minutes of jokes. Like it's not just about that. So you should do different things. Expand your horizons. You should take an improv class. Go on a cruise ship. Do a show at a church. Do a show at a church when you've never been religious. Like I don't follow religion. My family raised me Hindu. I don't even follow that anymore right now. And like it's cool. I can put on a mantra. I can close my eyes and I can say deep breaths. Like that's all you gotta do. Oh, and don't eat beef. That's the other thing you're supposed to not do, is take deep breaths, listen to a mantra on YouTube, which that's a trend now. People literally just put on Hindu mantras. Things that my family used to get made fun of 20 years ago are things that white women just do now for fun while they arrange crystals. It's fucking wonderful. Yoga came from Hinduism, and now white people have taken it over. It's fucking wild. I don't even know the last time an Indian person taught a yoga class. You know, like I think the last time an Indian person taught yoga, we had 0 Spider-Man movies and 2 Twin Towers. It was a long fucking time ago, guys. It was a different time, guys. It was a different time. I will say though, I took a yoga class from white person out here in LA, you know, very hip LA. Ooh, took a yoga class. It was taught by a white woman, I shit you not, named Karen. Yeah. And I have to say, I gotta say, I've taken yoga classes before, but this yoga class was the best damn yoga class ever. So I know you might be saying, whoa, anti-appropriation. No, white people, you can have yoga. I am officially, as clearly the self-appointed representative of Indian people, I am handing the torch to you of yoga. I am passing the torch to you. I mean, you did rip the torch out of our hands, but yes, the torch has been passed. Thank you. That was a new line I want to work on. But yeah, like it's wild. Like she gave me special attention. She treated me different than the rest of the class, which I loved. I've never had a teacher spend more time with me than anybody else. Usually it's the opposite. They spend more time with everybody else and just assume I know what I'm going on. Fucking. So she gives me more attention. And I figured it out, George. I figured out why. She gave me extra attention. She thought I was one of those yogis from the Himalayas coming down to check up on her, like some sort of undercover boss situation. Like, oh, the man from the headquarters is here. We gotta give him business. We gotta make sure he can touch his toes. So I touched my toes now, and it's fucking wild. So yeah, white people, you can teach some yoga. And that's all. Some appropriation is good, you know. Like my Indian parents, for example, my Indian parents drink rosé, which is the Gatorade of white women. So it's great. White women are taking yoga. My Indian parents are taking rosé. Full circle appropriation, you guys. It's fucking wild. All right, I need to leave, but I think before I go, I think it's important to say that you got to believe in your dreams. I think if you take nothing else away from tonight's show, believe in yourselves, believe in your dreams. You know. Things can happen, you guys. I started out in Chicago. I started the first time I was ever on stage, everybody. I was not very loud. I took a legal pad, not this legal pad. I don't have it anymore. I threw it away, but because my first set, like I literally went on stage for my first time and I made the mistake. I don't know if you other comics did this, but I actually told the crowd, hey, it's my first time on stage. And now if you're a new comic and you tell the crowd it's your first time, they will applaud you and they'll support you and they'll go, yeah. When I started comedy back in the day, they said, oh, it's my first time on stage with my nervous legal pad. I said, oh, it's my first time. Some old white guy in the back of the room goes, get out now. So it's like, I don't know if he was telling me to actually get out or he was just like, dude, I've been there and it sucks. Get out while you still have your soul. But I took it as he's wanting me to leave. And so I'm like, I'm going to achieve greatness just to spite him. And if we learn anything from Michael Jordan in The Last Dance, spite is the greatest motivator ever. And that's why I'm here with you today. And also back then, I took a legal pad on stage. I was shaking with the legal pad. It was just like this. So you too can achieve your dreams, everybody. You too can go from standing in a bar with 3 other people while somebody is setting up the chairs for the karaoke afterwards. You can go from that to one day living in a 3-bedroom apartment in Sherman Oaks, California, getting cast in a brand new movie called Jungle Book 2, Mowgli's Depression Years, coming soon to Disney Check Minus. Yeah, you heard me. Not Disney Plus with Cruella and Mulan. No. Disney Check Minus, Jungle Book 2, coming soon. It's going to be on par with Jackass Forever. It's a great fucking movie, and you two can perform, not for chicken tenders anymore, but for a full chicken dinner, you guys. That's fucking progress. I don't just get mini chicken tenders now. I get 5 pieces of chicken tenders, 2 sides, and 2 drink tickets. It's fucking wonderful. You live in the valley. You go to a lot of Armenian restaurants. You listen to System of a Down every day on repeat. The 2 songs that are good. Then you look up the other YouTube video where a guy like literally shoots off guns in tune with the System of a Down song BYOB. And that's how you live your life. And you do it because you feel good and you want to follow your dreams and you want to be kind to everybody. So be kind to everybody. Love one another. follow your dreams, enjoy Zoom, enjoy virtual comedy, and let's all have a great weekend. Thank you so much, George. Thank you, everybody. Gian's iPad 2 Electric Boogaloo, favorite audience member ever. All right, good night, everybody. Thank you.
Keep it going. So, you know, I actually saw white cultural appropriation the other day. Two black guys sang Hall & Oates song. I walked up to him afterwards. I knew him. I walked up to him afterwards. I said, "Hey, stay in your lane." I said, "You don't see me doing Biggie Small." He said, "Oh, that would be wonderful." No, it would not. I want to thank everybody for coming. Great show. Cassandra, Adam, Prateek, thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you, Gio.
Our next show will be on the 13th of May. So it'll be a little bit longer delay between because we're moving to the live show. But after that point, it'll be the second and fourth Fridays of every month. So, and again, if you had a good time and you want to send some money towards the comics, you can send it at paypal.me/BD comedy or on Cash App $button down comedy.
Dallas.
So everybody, I want you all to have a great weekend, a great night, and please be careful getting home.
Smart.
All right, thanks a lot. Everyone have a great evening.
Thank you. Great job, everybody.
Thank you.